People, hello, how are we? Hopefully we're all doing well. I'm Tom. Today we have our Premier League predictions. Who's coming last? Who's getting relegated? Who's champions? All that good stuff. Getting straight into it. I've got Southampton last. I was really toying with Ipswich or Southampton. Wasn't sure. Part of me was thinking, I want Ipswich to stay up. Their kit's unreal. It's Ipswich. It's been a double promotion. Been a story, Kings, right? But we saw the same thing with Luton last year. And people picked them to stay up. People were saying that actually they're that kind of story, and it accounts for nothing, right? It's a different league, it's a different competition, and I think they'll go down. So I've got Southampton last, then I've got Ipswich second last, and believe it or not, I think same thing as last year. I think all three teams are going back down. I've got Leicester third last. I was toying again with the idea of Leicester can stay up. They've done it before. They have come up and won the Premier League straight away. I've seen it done. I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the Leicester manager's that good. It's not me trying to state on him. I just don't think he's a very good manager. I think he might be one of the first to go. But I also think they'll let it slide because it is a new promotion. Sales, this, that, and the other. I just don't think they've got it in them to stay up. So I think they're the three teams we've got going back down. Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester. Just staying safe of relegation, I've actually got Bournemouth. I really, really, really toyed with the idea of Bournemouth going down. They've lost Solanke, who what, he got 19 goals last season, which playing for a team like Bournemouth is a good amount of goals. So I really toyed with keeping them up. I don't know. Sorry, I'm pushing them down. They've lost that. They have replaced it with a striker. I can't remember, escapes me now. They have replaced him. Do I think they can survive relegation? Only because they've got Leicester, Southampton and Ipswich below them. Like last year, there were teams that really should have gone down, but didn't, and were able to survive because of the teams that are below them. I think we'll see the same thing this year with a team like Bournemouth. But I nearly put them down. Then into 16th, I've got Forest. The reason why I'm putting Forest there is I'm reasonably impressed with them. Like they haven't been awful. Points to dock from last year. Managed to stay up. They made a couple of signings this year. I don't look at them and think you're going down. You're going to really struggle to stay up. I think they'll be in the battle. I think they'll have to fight to stay up. But I think they're really going to struggle with it, especially looking at some of the other teams. Then one above that, I've got Brentford. Brentford in 15. Now, you might think that's quite low. I don't think it is. I look at them and I think, you don't impress me. There's nothing I look at them. Tony's probably leaving. And I don't know if they can replace that. Tony's a really good player. It looked like he was going to a Premier League side. Now it looks like he's going to go to a Saudi side. But point is, he's leaving. And I just think, can you actually replace the likes of Tony? Because if you can't, you've got a serious issue. And it doesn't look like they're going to replace him. It doesn't look like he might not even leave for a while yet. Look, if he doesn't leave, they're not going to leave him to rot on the bench. Of course not. But it's looking likely. And yeah, I think they're going to struggle this year. Then above them, I've got Fulham. Fulham have impressed me. Honestly, the signings they've made, I think look good. They've got Smith Rowe. They've made a couple of other signings. I think actually, who's that? Well, that kind of, they got another signing. They signed for like 30 mil from some German team, I think. And he's like, I've been watching his highlights. He's unreal. He looks it. He looks like, that's the type of signing we could be looking back on in a few months' time saying that is a signing of the window. That's the bargain of the window. Bargain of the window, not signing of the window. But point is, they've impressed me. I think they'll be all right this year. I don't think they're going to be out of the woods. But yeah, I got them 14th. 13th, I've got Everton. I told you them putting them higher. I told you putting them lower. I just sort of thought, to the point deduction last year, you take away that point deduction, how would they have fared? All right is the answer to that. And I think the same thing can be said this year. They're not. Hopefully they won't get a point deduction. Well, hopefully for their fans, they won't get a point deduction. We'll see how they go. I don't think they're going to struggle massively, is the point I'm trying to say. Above them, I got Wolves. Same sort of story. They were it's a mid-table side, not too impressive. I don't worry about them. It's one of those. And then capping off the bottom 10, I've got Brighton. I think Brighton will finish 11th. I just think, yeah, you know what I mean? There's not much you can say with that. Mid-table side. They've lost their manager, so they could struggle a little bit, but it's Brighton. They seem to find a way. Still signing wonder kids. it's the Brighton way. They'll have a team of nobodies and they'll do all right. So I think they're going to be just miss out on the top 10, starting off the bottom 10 in 11th. Then I have Crystal Palace in 10th, capping off the top 10 and bottom place of the top 10, mid-table, Crystal Palace. I just think losing Elise, it won't have as big an effect as people are saying. I think, look, they've lost Elise, there's no denying that. Eze's still there. Eze can still get the job done. They might lose Gay, but look, they've got a decent team. It's not like you're looking at Brentford and go, you lose Tony. You're looking at Bournemouth, you lose Solanke, you're losing 19 goals a season. It's not like that. I think they'll lose. They've lost Elise. I think they'll lose. Look at the game on the weekend. Eze should have had a goal. Changes the game. And that's making this a bit late, by the way. Making this video a bit late. But you look at it and you just think, yeah, I don't hate Palace. I think they're all right. I think they're a good side. And I think 10th's about fair. Above that in 9th, I've got West Ham. They're a side that don't really impress me, but they seem to get the job done. They're never in the relegation battle. They're never in the Champions League spots. But they are a good side that will get the job done. And I think there won't be any difference this year. I think I sort of back them to get 9th. 8th, I've got Newcastle. That might be a bit low, but I know they got it in them. Do you know what I mean? I know they got it in them because they were playing Champions League football. I just don't know. And Isak's a hell of a player. He can come out and do amazing. Gordon, same sort of thing. I just don't know with them. I'm looking at them thinking, are you going to be that team that you can be? Or is it going to be another year of a bit of disappointment? And I think it's not going to be a disappointment, but it's not going to be what they want. And I think they're going to get 8th. I've looked at the teams above them, and bar the one directly above them, I don't really want to swap too many. The one directly above them in 7th, I've got Chelsea. Chelsea, I look at them and I just think you're a mess of a club. You're a mess of a team. Why you've got so many players that are on massive contracts in terms of wage and time that aren't even, by their own admissions, aren't even training with the first team. Why have you got them then? You're trying to get rid of them and you're still making more signings. Did you really need Neto? Do you really need Felix? Jean-Felix? But then you look at that squad depth and you look at just the size of that team. If someone gets injured, the rotation they've got, the players that got in that position, they really shouldn't be finishing any lower than 7th. They really shouldn't be finishing any lower. It's Chelsea. They could end up getting relegated. They could also end up winning the league. I just don't know. For me, I look at it and go, the squad you've got should be chopping up for top 5. But you're Chelsea. I think you're still struggling. You get out of 7th. 6th, I've got Man U. Now, look, they're a good team. They've got great players, and they're starting to come together. They don't look awful. Towards the end of the last season, bit of pre-season, they've looked all right. They've looked okay. I just don't believe in Erik ten Hag. It's not even because I'm a Liverpool fan. It's not even because of that. I just don't believe in him. I don't think he's that guy. I really don't think Erik ten Hag is that good a manager. I think that's the bottom line. That's why I think they're going to finish 6th. Not because the players are good. Not because of not because of the club and they got this new stadium rumored and they got all this, and I think they could be a good side. I just think their manager's not a good manager. So I think they're going to get 6th. Which that's not awful. That's good. Man, you will want more, but I think if you want more, you need a new manager. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, right? And I'm a Liverpool fan. We got a new manager. Well, we're yet to see what he's like. Is he any good? Is he the next Klopp or the next Pep or whatever it is? We'll see, right? But I don't think Man U have somebody who can really push and challenge the top teams like your Cities, like your Arsenals, and hopefully like your Liverpools. 5th, I've got Villa. I wanted to put them 4th. I really wanted to put them 4th. But I think 1, 2, 3, 4 for me are just not only better teams, but just seem to be better. I really want to put them 4th because, and even now I'm sitting here going 4th because their tactics and how they play, and Unai Emery as a manager is great. I really do rate them. I think they've got great tactics. I think they've got a great manager. I think they've got a great squad. But they got Champions League football, and that's not the same as Conference League. That is a different box of frogs, and it's one that I just see them, I don't want to say struggling with, but having that issue of finding the balance. I think that's what's going to be. How do you find the balance here? You've got a good squad, you've got a good manager. How do you find the balance? And if they can strike it right, fourth. If they can't and they struggle for fitness, they struggle for minutes, they struggle for squad depth, we saw it with Newcastle, I'm going fifth. Moving into fourth, I've got Tottenham Hotspur. Them, unlike Man U, I like their manager. I think he's a good manager. I think he's a funny guy. I like him a lot. They got a really good squad. They finally replaced Kane. They've got Solanke, and Solanke's a good player. I wasn't sure if they were going to go in for Tony. I just thought you need a striker. Outside of Villa, I don't think any of the top 5 teams would say they want Watkins. If you ask me as a Liverpool fan, I wouldn't say, yeah, we'll have Watkins. Like, not that he's a bad player, he's a good player. I just don't think, when you look at the market, why would I pick Watkins as a Liverpool fan? Man U the same. Man U don't even need a striker. I don't think we need a striker. We've got enough attackers as it is. City the same. Arsenal, they kind of need a striker. Is it Watkins you want? No, they probably want Tony. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I don't think Spurs were going to go for Watkins. I thought Spurs might go for Tony. Outside of Tony, they've gone for Solanke, and Solanke's a good replacement. Again, he did 19 goals in that Bournemouth team last season. Now he's in the Spurs team. 19 goals for Bournemouth. Translate that to Spurs, he's going to be like Harry Kane scoring 30 goals like Harry Kane did. Maybe not 30 goals. It's an outlandish take, but you get the idea, right? And I think that's going to help them massively. Finally got Kane replacement. It's a good squad. They've had that manager for more than just a season now. Do you know what I mean? So they're starting to gel under the manager. They can start pushing around different positions, making more signings they want to make. I think they're going to be a good side this year. I really do. I've got them fourth. Going into third, I have Liverpool. Look, say what you want about Liverpool. Oh, they've got a new manager, this, that and the other. You've lost Klopp. Yeah, we have lost Klopp. We've lost Klopp. We've still got the same team, and it's still a very, very strong team. So yes, we've lost Klopp. I'm not denying that, and Klopp's amazing. We've still got a very, very strong team. And looking at pre-season, we've looked good. And you can sit there, oh, but it's pre-season. Oh, it's pre-season. Doesn't matter about pre-season. What do you want me to base it off? I can't base it off last season. We had Klopp. I don't know about Feyenoord and Slot's previous teams. I can't go, well, that marries with our tactics quite well. I think it does. I think we've seen that in pre-season. I think we saw that in our first game. The way he was willing to axe Kwanzaa at halftime, bring on Kanate, so we win the duels and win the game. You can sit here and say that, oh, but it was Ipswich. That was the first time we'd won an opening game. I think it was since 1998. The first time Liverpool have won an opening game. Could be wrong, but it's a long ass time. And that's the first time we've won an opening game against Ipswich, who had just been promoted, so wanted it. Ed Sheeran was there. Their home ground. We haven't beaten them there for however many years. That meant something. The way he changed the tactics, brilliant. Trent looked unreal. Salah looked amazing. Jota should have scored the header, but he still looked good. Gravenberch sitting in that position, he can do it. I don't love it, but he can do it. Alisson, still great. I think we can do third. I think we can do higher, you know. I think I've done this prediction table off of absolutes. You know what I mean? I've done this prediction table of what we know, and we don't know the outcome off of the Man City charges yet. Assuming Man City get found guilty and they're off the table, we come second, and I really do think we can challenge Arsenal for that first spot if City aren't in the picture. You know what I mean? If City have gone, it's Arsenal and Liverpool first and second. I really think we can challenge Arsenal, just like we did last year, and push for that top spot. New manager, hopefully we get some new faces, still yet to make a signing, got the outgoings going. But we'll make some in January, I'm sure, with the new manager. We're only going to get better as the season goes on. We've looked good. I really do think third. We're still the same squad. A squad that, with our manager leaving, with a tired manager last season, with a completely rebuilt midfield, pushed for first for a long time. And now we can. I don't see why we can't do it again. Man City come in second. I'm going off absolutes, assuming the charges don't happen and they don't get found guilty, whatever it is, and they manage to push it off and they stay up. Cool. I've got them second. I think they look like a weaker team. I think they look weaker now than they're getting Gundogan back and they're making some signings. I think they look weaker now than they did last season. And last season they really, really, really got pushed. And I think they look weaker now than they did then. I think there are teams that are starting to really compete with them. Look at what Villa did to them last season. City and Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal sort of sat off them, but Liverpool and Arsenal really pushed them, both in their games as well as in the table. I think they look weaker now than they did then, and I think Arsenal look better now than they did then. I think Liverpool certainly can be better now than they were then. So I got them second. I just don't think. I think even if the Chargers all come back sunny side up, I don't think they'll do it. I really think Arsenal. I think it's Arsenal's years. I think when I was first looking at this prediction, I thought to myself, I think Arsenal have missed their chance. I think Arsenal's ship has sailed. They had a few years where they could have. Liverpool were falling off, and City were battling on a lot of fronts, and that was the opportunity. But Liverpool now look a bit better, and City will get better. I think Arsenal missed the boat. But actually, I look at it and I go, do you know what? I don't think they have. Liverpool have got a new manager. We're not really making any signings and we're just selling people. City are going through these charges, which might come back guilty, but even if they don't, they look like a weaker side. They're not really buying anyone, I think, because of the situation. Unless they go and splash a couple $100 million in the last sort of closing days. But assuming they don't, the situation matters, because if they do get relegated, they got a lot of wages to pay. They got our players don't want to pay for them. The players don't want to leave. You got issues like that. So maybe now is their chance more than ever. So I've got Arsenal coming first. So that is my predictions, people. Arsenal to win the Premier League at long last. So 3 teams fresh up, straight back down. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Let me know how bad my predictions are. I look forward to watching this at the end of the season and being embarrassed. Thanks so much for watching, people. Make sure you leave a like, a comment, subscribe. You know how YouTube works, people. Peace.